So it turns out if you don't log in for a couple days, after having done a bunch of things, a lot of inbox messages can be waiting for you. And we see here that the quest to conquer Kansas has wrapped up. By the way, thank you for everyone who has helped contribute towards this amazing drive for the community. But it means we've got a whole bunch of items here. Some of them are cosmetics, so we're okay with those. Some of them are slots, we're okay with those. But this, the legendary core, that is going to have to sit and wait. In fact, I'm not going to use this throughout the entire challenge, as it's a massive power spike which I have not earned. I can use it on my main account, but I'm not going to use it for Dan. Barrow Katia has arrived. He's on Pluto. Well, we can't go to him. Corpus faction. Hurrah, we got a mutagen mass. Corpus faction. Hurrah, we got a mutagen mass. And Varzia saying, hey, your ship Cephalon said you might need help acquiring a Void Relic or two for that shiny new segment. Name's Varzia. Form an axe. Hard to find Void Relics and Prime Warframes are my game. Here's how it's going to work. You bring me Aya, I supply with the relics, you need to acquire Prime Gear. Swing by Maru's Bazaar. Cool. This is Dan, a lone Tenno with a quest to defeat the Murmur. I'm Nick Engineer, let's go 0 to hero. Where is Maru's Bazaar? At the end of last episode, we unlocked this here. Now, Maru's Bazaar is right there. I guess it looks like we could technically just go straight to it. I didn't think that was possible, but there we go. Turns out I can. You know what? I'm actually going to go pay a peek.
Welcome to my bazaar. Tenno from all over the system come here to trade. Need any pointers? Running short on endo? No problem. Just bring me your old Iatan sculptures. They're full of endo. And
I could say looking for them.
For you, I've got a hot tip on the location of some Iatans. So, are you up for... Okay, you know the drill. Get in. Get the Iatan treasure. Don't get killed. Simple, right?
Absolutely simple. This is going to be a beautiful source of endo.
I stumbled across an Orokin codex that said this tower was known for its beautiful Iatan treasures. Unfortunately for you, it was also known for its deadly security apparatus.
God, that was pretty much perfectly timed with the voice line.
Well, this should be fun. Maybe you should stretch first. You know, limber up.
Alright, let's do this. Let's do this. That door opens. Slide our way under here. Did not mean to do a heavy landing. Bullet jump up. Make our way across. Slam onto this here. That'll activate this walkway. Make our way through to the end.
Don't look now, tin stuff.
And we get it.
Iatan nearby.
Nice. And let's grab all the loot in this room as well, because this is going to be full of goodies for us. Beautiful. We picked up a Sanctuary mod for our companion. Picked up a Zoom mod that absolutely no one uses. And a couple other mods, but most importantly is, of course, that sculpture. That sculpture has endo value for us. There we are. This time, let's fast travel to Maru.
Hey, welcome to my bazaar.
Now, at the moment, if we were to extract endo from this, attempt to do that, it would offer 325 endo, which is a lot at this stage of the game, but it is not as much as we could do. So I'm actually going to back out of that.
Remember,
Instead, what we want to do, head into our mods here, go to Item Treasures, grab this sculpture, and we can socket it. Are you sure you want to install this? Of course. One in there. One in there. One in there. It's now fully socketed, and of all the treasures to get, I get the one that only uses cyan stars. The value of this sculpture has jumped all the way up to 1,425. So let's go back to Maru now. It is precisely because of things like these item treasures that very early game players will struggle more with credits. Let's extract the endo from item item. Click that through.
thank you, Tinsu.
Beautiful.
Fine trade.
Some people were complaining about the lack of customization. Just a quick reminder, brand new accounts have access to about a dozen colours and no attachments. This is the extent of customization when you are brand new. Now as for our foundry, we previously built the burster, we'll get around to using that as and when I finish leveling up the Paris. We've also got the Boltor, but apparently I'm still short on the Neurode. Fragor was short on the Gallium. Furious was still short on the Neurodes. Heat Sword we can build. Ah, yes, Mastery rank locked. Of course. That is why we can't do that one just yet. Our Mastery rank is just about to hit the next stage. We have access to Mars, let's have a look. Now it wants us to do the new quest, Heart of Deimos, but I'm fairly certain we couldn't start that yet. So we don't have access to Deimos. But it says Deimos emerges in Martian orbit, completely overrun by infestation. Begin? Visit Cambion Drift. I did not think we could head straight over here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 incomplete nodes between us and the Cambion Drift. But if the game wants us to... it says to do it, but we can't actually do it. We need to get there. Let's make our way through these missions, shall we? One mission down.
Mission complete. Excellent.
Defense complete. Lith relic acquired. That's all we need from this one. Let's get out of here.
That's the last of them. Objective is secure.
And with that mission complete, we now have enough mastery to complete the MR3 challenge. So let's immediately get onto that, shall we?
A formidable performance. This test is now complete. Mission complete.
Having reached rank 3, we now have access to syndicates. To get started with this, at the low level, we're not going to have access to much of anything from them, but it is still worthwhile to progress with the syndicates. Having looked through the different syndicates, the one that I am going to go with is New Loka. Now this is for a number of different reasons. The squad restore that they offer is not a great one at Health Restore, but it's fine. That's not my main focus. My main focuses are access to the Winds of Purity Furious mod and Bright Purity's Skarner mod. These are early game weapons we are definitely going to be picking up. Actually, we in fact already have the Skarner, and so getting access to these mods early on will give us even more benefits there as well. The Panthera and Vulcan mods are not as important to us. But then also, here's Lavos' augments, because you see Lavos is a warframe I intend to get my hands on along the way to getting to Dante, because Lavos is a very powerful warframe, and Valence Formation dials that up to 11. So this makes New Loka a very good pick early, mid, and then late game. It doesn't matter which one we pick too much. Also, in terms of getting distracted by things which are not moving through the missions, there are alerts available granting Former and Umbral Former. These are as a result of the Quest to Conquer Cancer, if I recall correctly. Now these ones are optional to get into. They are designed for every player to access, and they are substantially higher level as well as being very limited. However, it is optional, and it's not a usual thing to have here, so I am not going to do these missions. I'm not going to claim these Former. We got enough from logging in with the new update. For now, let's just focus on getting to Mars with a sabotage. And by Mars, I mean Deimos. Now, the penultimate mode before Deimos is War, an assassination mission, and there is a foreign assassination, but we're going to do the actual normal one here. And now it's boss fight time.
You've located the VIP. Time to go to work.
Alright, this fight is one of basically attrition. We just have to survive his attacks until he does certain special ones that open him up to being hit. Like that. Want to stay in melee range? Get him to use his big hammer swings. Big swing. He becomes vulnerable. We take another strike. That's the third pipe cut. There it is. Big slam. Stab. That cuts the pipe. Now he's going to go all ragey. Once he does that, get rid of that thing. Now we just hold down the melee button because that is very effective. And he is dead.
Target down. Assassination contract complete.
This not only gives us a bunch of resources, but also gives us an Excalibur systems blueprint. A warframe I am not going to rush ahead and get, because it's a starter warframe, and I chose Vault because he is the better starter warframe. But it is indeed a warframe we could unlock. We also would require resources we don't even have for it. Fan mail. And now we have access to Deimos. Let's go do the capture mission, Harend. Now we're in a completely different planet here, which means completely different resources. We're going to start picking up mutagen mutagen samples. We're going to start picking up neurodes, plastids, all brand new resources to us and very, very important to recover.
Change of plans. Ignore your original objective. Leave nothing alive.
Oh, I see. Lotus is feeling bloodlust today. Alright. Now the reason I'm being quite so thorough is because these loot spots that we're detecting can lead to Ayatan sculptures. They're very, very uncommon. Very hard to find with my current equipment. But if I find one, it's a whole whack of endo that I otherwise would not have. Oh! Yep. I mean, there we are. Found it. That was surprisingly convenient. I keep getting lucky with these little things. I'll take it. That was completely unintentional. Ayatan via sculpture. Don't look a gift at Ayatan in the mouth, I suppose. With Kavats, if you scan them while they're alive, there is a chance, which just failed there, but there is a chance you get a Kavat genetic code. 10 of those will allow the production of a Kavat. Ah, electric rocks. Oh, wait, no, cat, no. No! Before we go on into Deimos, let's have a look at the Nightwave. We have achieved rank 1, in fact we've achieved rank 2. We've gained 21,000 total standing. We've gained a bunch of creds. The start of every Nightwave season always comes with 150 creds to get us going. Turns out you can get Vauban from the circuit, so this is no longer quite such a good place to spend creds, because we can also spend them on Nitane extract, which is very valuable, and we can spend it on these auras. As much as we're currently using the Dreamer's Bond aura, which is effectively a mix of rejuvenation and energy siphon, half of each, we could get others. And then we've also got some weapon upgrades, which we don't need right now. Time for us to face Cambion Drift. I see a little bit of a continuity flaw. I've not done the quest The Archwing. What was that?
You received our distress signal. Mother will be pleased. We are in crisis, Tenno. Our defense against the Grey Strain has failed. The Necrolisk is in lockdown, but it doesn't matter. The infestation has compromised the very heart itself. We have been forced to rephase into Martian. Our defense situation is dire. Our remaining necromechs have reverted to their autonomous kill precepts. They will not distinguish you from those things. It is imperative you meet Mother, receive her instructions, and prevent the imminent intradimensional catastrophe. Demonstrate your combat readiness, and I will grant you the requisite security clearance. Good luck.
What a grim location. Full of life, and every bit of it wants to kill you. Now, I currently don't have an Archwing, despite what the intro animation suggested, so I'm going to need to run my way over here. I could potentially use the blink pads, but I'm not going to.
Clearance approved, Tenno. I now grant access to the Necrolisk. Mother awaits. But I should warn you, she is not entirely herself.
Necrolisk, Void Research Enclave.
The infestation wormed into everything. After the Great Purge, there were no Dax, no Tenno to defend the place. Just us. And now you face an existential threat. If the heart stops beating, the wellspring of your power dies with it.
Well then, let's not let that heart die. Mother.
Tenno, meet the head of the Entrati family. What's left of her anyway? Mother, wake up.
had the most distressing dream.
Here we go again.
The wall of Loke was before us. I had my proofs. My father's. I could hear him. I could hear him tapping at the untimed door.
Mother?
We went in, but again, he wasn't there. My husband congratulated me. Sarcastic halfwit. All the while, hiveweed was sprouting all around us. But it was just a dream.
No, Mother. You did all of that. You're as wormed as the rest of this place. The heart is about to fail, remember?
Oh, fuck. And only that idiot knows how to fix it. The man I used to call my husband. I think he's left for good this time. Maybe you can find him. Probably sulking somewhere outside.
This must be one of the last of Father's necromags. It won't last long.
I'm assisting the necromag. Let's see if it can stay alive. Chop our way through everything. That works.
This struggle is a valiant one, but I fear the worst for our metal friend.
No.
The stalwart defender falls.
Damn.
Rest well, noble warrior. May you someday rise again. Now, to business.
I did my best.
Guidance signal was coming from over there.
Here we go.
You fight well for a runt frame. If you're ever interested in something a little more old war-sized. Wait. She didn't send you looking for me, did she?
I'm just here about the distress beacon.
Going back. When I met her, Mother, she was as brilliant as she was broken. Chasing her father's ghost, convinced he was still out there. I thought I could fix things. I thought I could fix her. Like she was a loose light board or leaky hydraulic. So yes, she's right about me. I am an idiot. But I'm a reformed idiot. I'm done with her. This heart is breaking down is just another tactic of hers. Don't you see? Everything has to be about her.
We must prove to Father that the heart is deteriorating.
Doesn't sound healthy.
This will be more dangerous than any Grey Strain monster we faced. We have to talk to daughter.
Don't see how that's dangerous, but sure.
Oh, aren't you a fascinating specimen? Organic ferrous exoflesh, hybridized internals, and-time trace. You're a Tenno, aren't you?
And she's just listening to some catchy tunes from a year gone by.
You need me to tell you where it is, which I wouldn't have to bother with if not for my parents, whose collective heads are so far up their collective lower sigmoids, the only air they breathe is what they secrete.
Charming.
Aw, that's kind of sweet. But look at us. We are beyond help. The disease vectors are too complex, changing faster than I can study them. We can only prolong the inevitable. Look, if you help me get back some of what my brother shredded, I'd be happy to return the favor. Deal?
Deal, I guess. What do you need?
We call that worm Fass. Don't worry about him, though. He's got bigger problems than you.
That would be this one.
Rome, his sister, they don't get along, as you'll soon see.
You'd think they'd learn to dodge it. Utterly charming.
This is a good opportunity for you, actually. There should be useful detritus falling from the explosion. Try not to get crushed, little one.
Now, we apparently need to be catching some fish. We've acquired a Lanzo fishing spear.
Note the curious way they float above the surface to feed. Don't bother trying to spear them in the exocrine itself. Too damn viscous. Their biology is crucial to my study. Infested but not entangled in shared consciousness. If there's a hope in halting our mental decline, it might be here in these humble little specimens. Get to it.
Absolutely. So she's studying the fish in her hopes to find a way to prevent the hive mind taking them over.
Alright, that's enough. Return the specimens to me, and I'll give Lloyd what he needs to take you down to the heart.
All she needed was 3 fish.
Proceed to the heart. Otak and I will take a damage assessment scan of it.
Okay. Enter this thing. Yoink.
Noticed my collar, did you? A not-so-gentle reminder from dearest mother. No one in the universe can hold a grudge as deep or as long. She took away all my Entradi command words with it. I broke the containment protocol. I carried the spores in. I screwed up. And suddenly, they all acknowledged my existence.
There we go. Let's proceed down into here.
Admit it, Tenno. It's beautiful, isn't it? Maybe it's not the abomination you think it is. Maybe it knows better than Mother. Maybe we ought to succumb to it. Let it win.
Sun
Yeah,
has
no.
strange ideas about what victory looks like.
Nope, I was going to zap them all, but I guess if they just want to vanish.
I'm embarrassed to say I'm unsure what to make of this. Tenno, can you figure it out?
See, we've got an eye, a knot, towers, and curtains. But that's how they told us doing that when we don't have operator. It is a very literal heart. Oh! Well, that is not good. I like the skin, but I don't think it's supposed to look like that. Oh, that's gonna sting.
I didn't expect to get through the door before I had a chance to finish. Forgive me. This is the only way.
Yeah, that's very bad news.
Alright, with the void closing up, you're gonna be too weak to help in that frame. Snake's in rough shape, but she's got enough juice for one last ride. What do you say? Ready to go old war style? Alright. Not ideal, but I've cross-routed your Warframe impulse stream directly to Snake. Now, she'll feel heavy, but you'll get used to it. Alright, squeeze off a few rounds and get a feel for them.
There's no time for training exercises.
But we've got to prepare...
Tenno, get down there. You're just going to have to learn as you go.
Where the hell is that necromech?
Daughter, the spores. Son, you're on repairs.
No one listens to me.
Tenno, can't have this area contaminated. Clear out those infested and destroy their spore clusters before we seal the chamber.
Let's clean them out. That got a bit of work done. Best outbreak on Pluto. Not really what I'm paying attention to right now, game. Oh, gun needs to recharge. There we go.
Spore clusters clear.
I rigged Snake with an old Omni tool. Ready?
Let's get some repairs done.
That should hold. What
There
do
we
you think,
go.
Mother?
Seal the chamber. Initiating restart sequence. By Loke, we pass through and beyond.
Okay.
Chamber sealed. That's it for your ride. And a one-way trip for poor Snake. I'll cut the reroute as soon as the heart's beating. And you'll be back to your old self again.
Sounds good.
Restart in 3, 2, 1.
You sure you've got the correct derivatives?
Again. 3, 2, 1.
Perfect. Just perfect.
It doesn't make sense. Something must be interfering. I checked the equations.
Well, check them again.
Don't yell at me! Again!
It's that mech again.
There it is! Tenno, you've got to destroy this thing, or we're back where we started!
You have no idea how jealous I am right now.
Oh dear, that was too close.
You gave her a good send-off. You have my thanks. Ah, Snake. I'm gonna miss you. But you've earned your rest, alright? Rerouting you.
Yes. A rest.
Woo! Made it. Even including an Entrati Lanthorn. Now I'm fairly certain we're not supposed to have this yet. Hello, grandmother.
They're an insufferable lot, aren't they? My son, father, blustery and spineless all at once. His absentee wife, mother, who can't see past what she's lost to see what she has. And who can blame the children? Daughter, trying to convince herself she's so different. It only makes her more the same. And the boy, poor son, he mistakes kindness for mediocrity. Who's he competing with other than himself? But in a crisis, they can come together. I've no idea what you're talking about. But even as they've forgotten themselves, their names, their bonds, they might still be our family. Seems you're an important part of that now.
And with that, the Heart of Deimos quest is complete. We have a Zaku blueprint, the path for which we'd need to farm through bounties, just like with Gara, just like with Garuda. It's the same story, different location.
And now, I think we've had more than enough excitement for one day.
Tenno, your codex has been updated with a new quest.
Excellent. From Father, a side project basically giving us the Voidrig blueprints. Now, this is all going to be a bit of work to get through, and we're not going to need to do this work just yet. I've done a video on how much more accessible this has become since the past, however, it's still quite a bit of work to get to. That will have to wait for the moment. Right now, I think we should fix that cutscene. There is the Archwing to do. Let's begin this.
This
Lotus.
is the master blueprint for the Autonata Archwing, the first of many Archwings. To complete it, you must find its component parts. Unfortunately, An ancient Orokin archive detailing the locations of the parts was recently stolen by the Corpus. Your first job is to recover this archive. Your mission is twofold. Cut off their access to the void and recover the data. Head to the
Okay.
portal. We need to shut the Corpus out of the void before we search for the Orokin archive.
Now, there is also the optional objective of the Orokin caches. I, however, am not going to spend time focusing on that right now, as this is a quest I would just like to make my way through.
Using a void key and a portable torsion beam device to force open the portal. Destroy the key and the device. Start up the portal generators to reverse the polarity.
There we go. Polarity is beginning to be reversed. Excellent. We can go through the portal.
There's the torsion beam device, but they've taken the void key. Find it. Target spotted. Stay sharp. This one is a handful.
Oh, I assure you it's not. We've dealt with a bigger version of this.
Quick.
That
pick up
thing's
the
nothing.
key. You got the key. Now get back to the portal.
Heading back as quick as we can. Slap it in. Get through the portal before it collapses. There's loot inside this chamber. Let's grab that real quick, just because I can.
Objective complete. The void key and torsion beam device are out of commission. The enemy will not be returning anytime soon. That's it.
Splendid.
The portal has collapsed.
And there
I've
is
located
a...
the cache containing
Oh.
the Orokin archive. Get there now. You found
Oh,
the
there we go.
Orokin archive. You are one step closer to unleashing the Arkwing.
That was very conveniently placed. I will happily take that. Mission successful.
Another job well
And we've fully leveled up our bow. Now this is where I can make perhaps the uncomfortable choice. Equip the one that we constructed earlier, this Burston. And we can start slapping some mods onto it. Not much can be fit onto it. In fact, the serration we have is too high tier for us to equip. The drain of 8, even with the polarity there, would still be a 4. We can only afford 3. The only thing I can equip right now would be a Bane of Grenier, which is not helpful to us. So I'm going to have to take this unmodded for the moment. The only other option I may have is if I had another serration mod, I could put that on and start ranking up a new one. But not only is that wasteful, it's not even an option I have. As much as it is unmodded, equipping it at this stage is important because it will help us to generate yet more mastery, continue our progress with this character. Okay. Yeah, we can definitely see the limits of this gun are going to be present. That is fine. Let's go do a single round of excavation. Yoink. Now you can see already, with no modding, this weapon can get the kills, so with modding it should be pretty impressive for the levels we're dealing with.
This excavator is fully powered. That's it. You found an Arkwing part blueprint. Head to extraction when you are ready.
Oh, I'm ready. We don't need to sit around in here grabbing extra cryotic for the hell of it. That got us 1 rank on the Burston, which, as we're mastery rank 3, has made no change to the mod capacity on it. We need to get it to 4 to be able to equip Serration.
It won't be long now until you're flying through the skies like a winged death machine.
Oh, I'd love to forge it, but it requires a new road. This is where we're going to have to start focusing on which planets drop which resources. But let's instead just extract the harness blueprint.
That's it.
We are done here.
Found an Arkwing part blueprint. Head to extraction when you are ready.
I still find it odd that excavators will explode when they finish, rather than just,
Excavator
you know,
deployed. Protect the
finishing,
unit while it
despawning,
extracts the
launching
archive.
back up, something like that. No, they explode just like if they've been destroyed. It's very odd. Makes you feel like you've done it wrong, even though you haven't. Ognata harness. We'll see in a moment if I can build that one. Also, we found a new road. Excellent, so I can actually build the first piece now. Extract systems. Is this going to be another excavation, I wonder? Given the first 2 were, it seems very likely to me this is going to be another excavation. It is. We need to build all of those pieces. Can we build this final one, or do we need some materials? Oh, I'm not seeing it. Here it is. Odonata Systems needs another Neurode. Okay, well, we're just going to have to go and get one of those from Earth, aren't we? What we can do for this is we can head on over to, where is it? Cambria, this spy mission. If we can go in with stealth, our gun is not silenced, so we can't use that for our stealth kills. Spy missions are a good source of mission affinity, which is split across our gear. So I can go in with this. Now, I'm going to keep everything equipped. It means less affinity to the gun, but it means I still have my options to defend. Here we are. Let's start doing these spy vaults. So this is what's going to show us the amount of affinity we can gain. Currently, person's on 236 from this mission. Let's see what we get.
Console is nearby. If you trigger the alarms now, the enemy will start destroying data. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. You're still in the clear. No detection from enemy sensors.
Actual perfect execution of that.
Data extracted.
Boom.
They won't even know it's gone.
By doing that, the person just gained 1,286 rather than previous 200 odd it had. That is a big boon. Editing Ken here to say 1000 affinity isn't really that much of an increase. However, you can improve this by doing higher level spy vaults and by equipping fewer weapons. If you have just one weapon equipped and you complete the top tier spy vault with stealth for the triple affinity, you can get a substantial amount of affinity without ever having to use the weapon itself. Aside from leeching from other players, this is about the only way to level up a weapon consistently without having to mod it and kill with that weapon.
You're nearing the console. Trigger the alarms now and they will start destroying the data.
Can I kill him with that?
Focused.
Yes, I
There's a
can.
heavy unit approaching.
That's a nice chunk of affinity. Kuno's just jumped to rank 21. Grab our
Data
reward.
extracted. They won't even know it's gone.
Neurode! Yes! It's been worth it! We found a Neurode right at the end. It's been worth it. Odonata Systems. Yeah, building. We'll claim all three in just a moment. Upgrade the Burston. Duration now fits. Massive increase in the damage there. 75% more. Literally. Whilst we're at it, there is a rank up available with New Loka. Costs a lot of credits, 30,000 credits, and 2 field run samples. Credits we can reacquire, field run samples obviously we have plenty. I would like to be able to make more progress with them, so let's do this.
Use these to
Also allows me to
cleanse
pick
the
up
unclean.
a reward. All of these are decorative except for that. This gives us 5 Ancient Healer Spectres we can deploy in a mission to support us, so why not?
Give what
Next
you
rank
can,
up,
Tenno, to
it's going to
help
consume
us.
some of those former. Find the Corpus Intel using our Arkwing.
Tensions between the Grineer and Corpus are boiling over. You're here to find out what the Corpus know.
Here's the thing, if we need the information on the Baelor Fomorian, which is Grineer, why are we getting the info from the Corpus? Does the Corpus just have worse security?
There is something breaking from the void.
Meet Baelor. Your fate, my future.
This ship is disintegrating. Aborting mission. Get to extraction.
Okay.
Sorry, ship integrity will not permit extraction at this time.
You only have
Orders.
one chance. Orders. Deploy Arkwing.
But my calibrations, it's not...
Orders, do it now.
Okay, deploying Arkwing.
Huzzah! We finally have the Arkwing ready.
Tenno, you need to get
With
to the
4
other
Hearted
side of
Amos?
this debris field where Ordis can safely extract you. Ordis, can you extract now? Tenno, stand by for pickup.
There we go.
Job well executed.
Huzzah! The Arkwing quest complete. Now to build other Arkwings would require bouncing between syndicates. I'm not going to focus on that at this time. Let's have a look over here, because there are 2 junctions out of Mars. We have the Ceres junction and we have the Phobos junction. As it so happens, they have their own requirements, just like the others. For Ceres, it wants us to complete the Hearted Amos. We've done that. and it wants us to defeat the Sergeant at Iliad on Phobos, so we have to go to Phobos first. Phobos wants us to visit Maru, been there, to open 3 Lith Void Relics, we'll need to get to that, and to refine a Void Relic once at the console in the Orbiter. But for now, we've completed a number of quests, we've made a lot of progress, we've got the Archwing, and we're reaching a point where this episode might be getting a little bit too long, to be quite honest. So for now, Dan is satisfied with his progress, and we'll return to these Void Relics in the next one.